So the episode starts off with Tony telling the Incredible Crash Out that he's sending him to an alien planet. Reed back there hiding his face after he got folded in that 1v1. And that's how you know Hulk is really a demonic presence. Niggas need to ship you away to an interstellar planet. As soon as he crash lands on the surface, these little bug creatures try to jump bro immediately. And he was tolerating it until somebody pulled out a shank and stabbed him in the thigh. And he down smashes the ground, sending all these niggas to the spirit realm. But while he's fighting a literal army, some Imperial guards pull up and shoot an AI tumor in his chest. And the nigga chain AI layer 2 reaches his brainstem and gives him the ability to understand the native language of this planet.
You can understand me, right? If you can understand me, blink twice. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes. I'm gonna need you to get on your knees and open your mouth.
They gave him the ability to understand their language just to let him know he was a slave. And after resisting arrest, the Imperial officers just put that nigga on the floor. You see, the hockey puck covering his nipple doesn't just have Google Translate. It also acts as a shock collar. So when he wakes up in a prison cell and everybody has the same hockey puck shit, we start to realize that the slaves aren't for picking cotton. They're for gladiatorial combat. And they wasted no time. They dropped them straight out of the battle bus into the Coliseum. So Hulk has just met this team and now they're going 9v9 against these rock niggas. And the one rock guy on their team is like, oh shit, I know those niggas. So he walks up to them trying to reunite with his lost brothers and gets backdoored with the nastiest right hook of his life. Look at the follow through, there was no hesitation. So now everybody's in the mix trying to scrap with the rock golems. Everybody except for the Hulk. He's at the back of the Coliseum trying to push on the gate to escape. These niggas are trying to fight beings made of rocks with swords. You can see the sparks coming off. This shit is ineffective. At least that's what I thought until one of those niggas hits his eye in the most precise way possible. Yet before he could put any motion in, he gets third party. Backhanded him so hard that he's leaking. Do you know how hard you have to backhand a nigga for him to be at risk of bleeding out? He's never gonna walk the same again. While bro's over there laying on the floor, these cockroach creatures see a golden opportunity to up the score, and they try to jump this man while he's down. Is this the entire tactic of their species? Rage baiting literal monsters that end up smashing you like bugs? And bro is genuinely tight. He treated this last one like a fucking stress ball. So now that gang isn't on the brink of death, he tries to get Rock Nigga off the floor. Tells him that his brothers have been brainwashed. They aren't the people that he used to know. And in the middle of bro saying he can't do it, homeboy gets a life-threatening back shot. So after trying to reason with these niggas and it not working, he sadly had to put him in a coffin, turn these boys into Legos. Hulk does not fight at all until the Emperor gets bored and wants to see some cool shit. So he releases a Kraken. So he jumps up and puts a hole in this thing's testicle-like face. But that nigga is not done. He mean mugs the Emperor and space bars directly into his mitt. But this buff warrior baddie blocks the attack and she's itching to kill him. But the Emperor's like, no, fuck that. Then the crowd gonna think I'm pussy. So he hops in this Lex Luthor ass suit with a sword just to prove how pussy he is. He leaks the Hulk one good time with this swing, but as soon as Bruce picked up this sword, it was GG's and he leaked them right back. But I have to say, the Emperor is an aura collector. As soon as he got smacked in the face, he didn't even look back. Shuddy jumped down and blocked without him saying a word. And then he goes to sit down to think about how he just lost that one. Hulk is boxing this bitch and he has the upper hand. Goes for his signature down smash, but gets slimed out at the last second. Bro is genuinely opposed to a fair one. Double taps that shit for good measure and decides to let him live in order to stroke his empathy meter in front of the crowd. So we get a little backstory about some of the team members and we're straight back to another battle. This time in the Planet Hulk drip. He's finally figured out that using his bare hands in gladiatorial combat on a foreign planet probably is not the best idea. So he picks up this big ass sword and starts heave-hoeing these robots in half. The rest of the team is really just fucking fodder as they try to do these nut ass formations. As a couple of them almost get killed, Hulk starts crashing out, destroying robots left and right. And I find it incredibly funny how he only really steps in when fine shit is in trouble. So after taking these robots out in a matter of seconds, and the Emperor's like, damn, this nigga's really cooking. So he says,
send it in.
And this big ass centipede robot gets let out from under the floor. Shit looks like it's about to be light work at first, but it for some reason has lasers, which feels like overkill. And Hulk gets swatted against a wall, but he's not pussy. So he runs in full force with a punch cocked and ends up getting deep throated by the robot. Got the Emperor fucking giggling in his chair and shit. But the Hulk predictably just rips out of his stomach. Like, you really think niggas are that lightweight? This is the strongest Avenger we're talking about. So So that night after the battle, Sierra takes Hulk to a separate location and for some reason decides to tell him her backstory. When she was a kid, an explosion led to a huge infestation of these parasites that mutated her entire village into monsters, forcing her to slaughter every single one of them. When the prince found her and made her his bodyguard, she tells Hulk this entire story to convince him to run away from the battle, but the Hulk is 10 toes on beating the Emperor to death in front of a crowd. But he isn't Hulk's next opponent. Beta Ray Bill is the horse-faced demigod that the MCU doesn't even want to think about, and he swings the hammer on these niggas without a word. Bro over here thinks he's doing something just because he dodged one swing, just to get blocked and rocked in the same combo. Had that nigga levitating across the arena. With Beta Ray preoccupied, Rocky tries to sneak him, and that shit does not even phase him. He turns around, blocks the mace with his bare hands, and then headbutts him so hard he gives a rock creature CTE. So Hulk steps up to the plate and shatters his sword instantly on Beta Ray's hammer. This shit was on sight. There was absolutely no lag time. With no weapon, Beta Ray's putting his hands on the Hulk, putting in devious combos with this hammer. But all that shit talking Beta Ray doing is making Bruce very, very angry. So he goes for another charge and gets outranged before he gets anywhere close to Bro. So the Hulk channeled his slimy energy and pulls some daggers up from the floor, hitting Beta Ray in the chest and breaking the mind control device. And Gang can't even get a second to breathe, like to realize that he's free of mind control, until the Hulk smacks this nigga across the arena and starts destroying his facial features until the crowd stops cheering. This shit goes on for like 20 seconds. This is why they could not keep the Incredible Crash out on Earth. Niggas gotta come pull him off of Beta Ray, and with that fight, they have earned their freedom. But the Emperor comes down and gives them an ultimatum. Either kill this bitch for some reason and get to leave freely, or get horribly and violently murdered. Hulk simply disagrees, and Bro tries to take out the entire team in one foul swoop. But Beta Ray gets up off of the floor just in time, free of the mind control, and he uses his powers to free all the slaves in the Coliseum. And now that Bro is all alone by himself, Hulk is ready to choke him out. Yet Hulk decides not to murder him and escapes the Coliseum. Now that Hulk's on the run and the Emperor is still alive, he sends Sierra to go hunt the Hulk down and restore this nigga's broken pride. She pulls up, challenges him to combat, and by the time he turns around, she's already in the fucking air performing a dive kick. Hulk weaves her and then throws her the other way, but she bounces back and lands a life-altering blow on his chest. A blast so powerful it took off all this nigga's clothes, but Hulk just takes her hand out of his chest and makes her again. You think they would get the message that Bro cannot be stopped. He throws an entire boulder at this bitch while she wasn't looking, and she kicks it in half, pure reaction speed. They're scrapping for their fucking lives, and she gets distracted when she spots one of those missile things that carries the parasites that turned her village into monsters. But Hulk does not give a fuck about that shit and uppercuts her lights out. She ends the fight to go help people caught in the blast, and she ends up getting told by the Emperor himself that he is the one that dropped the parasites that mutated her village and forced her to kill her parents. But while she's having this tragic revelation, the Hulk just got infected by one of these brain-eating amoebas, which is like giving steroids to a level 10 crash out. So the Emperor is about to bomb the city under the guise of cleansing it of this infestation. Everybody tries to evacuate underground. Sierra is on her way to the bunker, and the Hulk is trying to pull up stone slab to protect himself. And in the middle of her running there, the child that she saved from her mutated parents gets disintegrated in front of her very eyes. For some reason, the fire in the blast cures the Hulk from his parasite. And the next day, when the Emperor tries to parade around his dead body, he takes off the cover to reveal a special type of ass whooping, as this nigga has to shield his face before Hulk smashes it the fuck in, absolutely embarrassing this man in front of his own guards. The Emperor comes at him, the Hulk catches the sword and gets a heavy dose of electrocution, but he thugs that shit out, snaps the blade off, and stabs the Emperor with his own sword and hit a home run with Bro's cranium. The Emperor's last resort is some ballistic missiles, but if that shit not gonna work for Tony, it's not gonna work for you. The Hulk eats those shits like a light snack. Gang is so desperate, he pulls out a flamethrower, but one thunder cheek clap solves that whole problem, and he buries Bro under concrete with a jump, tries to get another lick off, and gets his suit torn apart like he got it from Party City. He tries to get his guards to pull up, but the Hulk is already using high-level maneuvers on this nigga's face. He's getting cooked in ways he couldn't imagine. So he starts spamming the controls and presses X a bunch of times in the corner, lands this spinning back kick, and goes for his dramatic finish. But he doesn't know who he's dealing with and gets his punch gripped mid-swing. And the Hulk literally starts punching his suit apart, ripping that shit off piece by piece until he has the Emperor begging for his life. But no, he doesn't kill him. Sierra steps in to inflict an even worse punishment, the same parasites that he released on our village. His own robots detect an infestation and burn him to death, leaving Hulk the new ruler of this planet. He even took his bitch while he was at it. And that is all of Planet Hulk. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the Twitch while you're down there, and see you.